Bill.
have to look
All right,
forward to.
you said Stacy's not coming?
Stacy won't be here, no.
All right, I'll call the meeting to order. The first item is to adopt tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda. Second.
All right, a motion has been made and seconded to adopt tonight's agenda. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item is the oath of office.
So for tonight, we need Bill, Bonnie, and Mary Helen to recite the oath of office. So Bill, if you want to start us off.
All right, I, Bill Zimmerman, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Minnesota and faithfully discharge the duties as a member of the City of East Bethel Park Commission in the County of Anoka and the state of Minnesota to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Next.
Go ahead.
I, Mary Helen Westland, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Minnesota and faithfully discharge the duties as a member of the City of East Bethel Park Commission in the County of Anoka and the state of Minnesota to the best of my ability, so help me God.
And I am seeing impaired. So bear with me. I, Bonnie Harvey, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Minnesota and faithfully discharge the duties as a member of the City of East Bethel Park Commission in the County of Anoka and the state of Minnesota to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mary Helen.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you.
You can't leave now.
Okay.
I didn't tell you.
Once you're in, that's it, huh? Till you die.
All right, next item is item 4, the election of the chair and co-chairperson.
I will make a motion to elect you.
Pointing to that. Bill?
Bill,
I think
Bill,
that was
I'll
it.
second the motion.
Or was it Denise?
I think Denise, I think it was
Bill,
Denise.
I'm sorry. I'll make a
I was-
motion to appoint Bill as our chair.
Denise, would you like to be the chair?
I'll second that motion.
For Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll be your co-chair.
A motion has been made and seconded to make me the chair and Denise the co-chair. Any discussion?
Good job.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. All right.
Woohoo.
Both of you can read and
We
hear.
are the dynamic duo.
Does that mean I get to
Yeah,
switch?
so we need to switch Mary Helen and Bill's spot.
All right.
Just for-
Although this leaves me in a disadvantage because now I can't use Bill's maps when I forget my stuff.
I gotta get all my stuff together. I just got
You
situated.
can always move next. We can move Stacy over if you really want to.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Once you're there, though, you're there.
It is kind of like that. So we should move Mary Helen down because Stacy,
Yeah, then she could see the.
then that way we're more all together too.
That works.
So move me here.
Yep.
You're gonna take over my spot.
I'm confused,
Oh,
but that's
thank you.
normal.
Yeah.
Anytime Denise starts, I'm confused.
Now you can tell time saver.
What did you say?
Nothing, Denise.
So that one will go on.
Yep, that one will go.
Shell game.
It sure is.
It just makes more sense because then we're all together
Yeah,
and we can hear each other a little easier.
I like it. I don't wanna be off by myself.
Unless you want to be by Bonnie, in which case we'll kick Tim off.
I can look at her that way. Is this your quarter?
That's my Aldi quarter.
There you go. Don't lose that.
All right, everybody ready again?
Well, welcome,
think so.
Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
I was sure it was gonna be you, Denise. All right,
Dodging another bullet.
item 5 is to approve the minutes from the January 11th meeting.
I think I have a correction though. This was the January 11th. I wasn't here, and then they have me approving the minutes, but was that from the time before that?
Nope, that was probably a mistake.
There's a couple places where my name is in there, so we can just
You
cross
were
it
here in
out.
spirit?
Well, I kind of was. Maybe I was sending vibes or something.
Yeah. It actually says at the top that you were absent.
Yeah, so,
And it says I was here.
Oh, you were here and
You were
absent.
absent too.
That's pretty good. I like it.
well, which was it?
That's some magic I want to know.
I'm not telling.
I don't know, because I wasn't here.
I can make those changes,
Well, if it was a female and you made the motion, then it must have been me that seconded it.
that would be my guess. I have it all written down in my notes, down in my office. I can make those changes pretty simple.
Yeah, and I wasn't here, so I didn't bother reading them.
Well, that's good to
Oh,
know.
now we know, the truth comes out.
Hey, didn't know what was going on anyway. Why would I read them?
And I read them, but I didn't look at the date.
Oh, I thought I was reading.
This is
the
coming
numbers.
off really well on screen.
We're a bonding crew, huh? No,
Look-
I love it.
Yeah, look what you got yourself into.
It makes me feel really
Sue, is there any other
comfortable.
spot besides that under the agenda that you
Under
noticed?
3, the approved meeting
Oh, yeah.
minutes. And that was the only place I could find.
That's one
I
place
think.
I see. Okay, I can make those changes.
Okay.
Any other changes before we approve the minutes?
Well, I just have a question. Like I said, when I was reading these, they were so brief that I can't remember exactly what we covered. But I know we did have a lot of things we talked about during the baseball field section.
Yeah, and the official record is the recorded video.
So if we do that, can we make like a comment, like see the video or
Yes.
put a link or something so people know what to refer to?
Yep, does everybody know it too? Anybody can watch these on YouTube? Anybody can go in there and look at them on YouTube at any
More
time?
stuff to watch on YouTube.
I thought it was on cable and I
It's-
couldn't see it.
It's more than for cat videos.
It's what?
YouTube
Oh.
is,
Yeah, all the park commission videos are actually on YouTube for anybody to watch, so.
Oh,
Boy.
see? I think we should put a reference in there, just, if we're gonna keep them this brief, we
Sure.
should have some kind of reference for people
Note.
to look back at. You know, I like to go to meetings where people bring up the park stuff to me nicely, hopefully.
Why start now?
I think I'm a pleasant person.
So just to clarify, Nate, you're gonna redo the minutes and then we'll approve them next time, or do you want?
If
to
it's
approve-
just the motions, I can go back and change who the person was who made the motion. If there's anything that else needs, if you want to, I can bring them back again if you want to, otherwise you can approve them as is and with the changes if there's something
Yeah,
that
we-
somebody's
we
worried
can
about.
approve them with the changes, which is the easiest.
Yeah, it was a pretty short meeting, so there wasn't a lot of,
Yeah.
Well, it was ball fields, so I mean, it's pretty much the same as every year.
well, we talked about some rate changes and
Some,
rate
Oh, yeah.
changes and different things about the regulation field and that kind of,
okay. Sorry, I missed that.
that's why I was surprised you weren't here. That's your favorite topic.
So did somebody make a motion then?
Not yet.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second.
Yeah, you're on the record.
All right, a motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes from the January 11th meeting. Any discussion?
As amended.
As amended. Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 6, park financial information.
In your packets, we included the year-end numbers that weren't ready for the January meeting. They're still doing the audit actually this week, but this is pretty close to what the final number will be. We finished out the year with $53,656 in the Park Acquisition and Development Fund and $103,686 in the Park Capital Fund. Part of that is earmarked for the paving of the trails at Booster West that we had to postpone until this spring, so that'll knock out probably $50,000 out of the Park Capital Fund.
When will they get a transfer from the general fund?
That's probably, it might have already taken place.
So that's not in here
That's
yet.
not included in that one, no. all those transfers go over on the first of the year at some point, so.
So next
Once
month,
the audits are done.
yeah, next month we'll see those then.
Yep.
Okay.
So then the park maintenance budget, that was the year-end amount that we finished 2021 with. We were at 96% of our budgeted amount. A couple items were over, a couple of them were under, but you end up looking at the bottom line is the main issue for that.
Did we replace a bunch of equipment or something? Because I was looking at those numbers.
On number 223,
Building,
223, 229, 231.
yep. So 223 is anything that was replaced in the parks that pertains to any of the structures, the irrigation. And we actually went through that today, the finance director and I, just to double check everything in there. It was all pretty small things that we did in-house. So same with 229. We've been able to take a lot of the work and do it ourselves and not have to farm it out, so we're saving money from having to pay contractors. Our guys we got a pretty good staff that's pretty talented and doing a lot of this stuff on our own, so. Those two items are stuff that we do ourselves, so they are higher than what we budgeted, but in the long run, it saved the city a lot of money. None of them were very big ticket items, and that 223, that included, we're building dugout covers for the fourplex out there. So that's all the material for half of them so far that we built. Structural steel for the roof, and then the timber, and then the tin that covers it, so they're turning out pretty nice.
That's good because we need it since we don't have any shade over there.
Yep, they worked on them again today. So we should have those all ready to go by the time the season starts this year on the fourplex. It sounds like the baseball field, we might be getting a donation from the Bandits to rebuild like block dugouts on those, so we'll see where that goes. But we originally were gonna put dugout covers on those, but we're gonna wait on those on the baseball field until we see
Yeah,
where
I
that.
think that would be nice.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're gonna put that much effort into a field, we should make it look good.
they mentioned getting a scoreboard for that field too, so donating it. Any other questions on any of those on there?
Just out of curiosity, how are they generating money?
the Bandits,
Yeah.
they do a lot of fundraisers and
They run the recycle center too with the Lions.
Oh, that's right, with Dallas, yeah.
Yep,
Forgot
a
about
lot of fundraisers, yep.
I don't know how Dallas got everything, I don't know how he squeezed work in when he was doing everything else.
that.
He's got a lovely wife who helps out.
So then I also handed out the sheet for January that wasn't ready by the time the packets went out, but there was not a lot to report on there. Down on the bottom, that 17,000, that's an initial transfer at the first of the year too for the equipment replacement charge, so that comes out right away. Same with the workers' comp insurance premium, that's line item 151. So those are pretty much done for the year already.
And we should be pretty good on snow plowing, right?
We're in good shape, yeah.
Even though there was a couple, well, we're actually headed more into the snowy season now.
Yeah, March
so-
is gonna be the big one.
Yes.
Yeah, in April it all melts. Motion to approve the parks financials?
I'll second that.
All right, a motion's been made and seconded to approve the park financial information. Any discussion?
Nate, I think you did a wonderful job.
Thanks, I think our public works staff too, those guys are pretty cost conscious, so,
I think it helps that they're a little more savvy on doing things ourselves too, right?
yeah.
We can get things done faster.
They do a nice job.
All right, anything else? Anybody, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up is item 7, the Prairie Hills Park dedication.
Consider a recommendation on park dedication for Prairie Hills. The plat consists of 16 buildable, single-family residential lots on 40.58 acres zoned RR, rural residential, with a minimum lot size of 2 acres. The development will be accessed off of 213th Avenue, which is County Road 74, and 209th Avenue by the construction of a new portion of Tippecanoe Street. The property is adjacent to the Whispering Oaks development with a 2.5 acre developed city park. With any platted property, the Park Commission can recommend 10% of the land be dedicated to park land or recommend a park dedication fee in lieu of the land. The park dedication fee is determined by 5% of the fair market value of the undeveloped land, not to exceed $2,000 per acre. This amount has yet to be determined for this property. Staff is seeking a recommendation from the Park Commission to City Council on acceptance of parkland or park dedication fees for the proposed development.
Where does that come up? You said it's right by Whispering, we've got a 2.5 acre,
Yeah, well, Whispering Oaks has their own park,
Yeah.
so they just have to cross the street, right, to get
It's-
to it?
what I'd like to see.
So here's County Road 24, here's City Hall. Or County Road 74, sorry. This is the Whispering Oaks development. It goes all the way out to Durant Wild Race Drive. Turn on the aerial photo. Zoom in a little bit. The property that's getting developed is this piece right here. And the park is right here.
Is that the fire station?
Do
right
we have
down
trail
there?
access to that, or is there room for a trail from that neighborhood then?
Oh, that's the hand.
To where? So there's gonna be a road that comes all the way down, so they'll have the road access
Right.
through here.
Oh, okay, they'll be able to go by road then?
Yeah, this is all residential
I think if
city
they've got
street.
access to that park like that, there's no reason to take parkland there.
Nate, where is the park that's currently?
Right here, it's this parcel here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So it
We
has
just
a,
updated it a couple years ago.
Well, that's just it, and we've got enough parkland that it's hard to keep it all maintained.
this one is irrigated, it has a
This is a nice
tennis
park.
court, yeah, this one's always in nice shape. Has a playground, swing set, rope climber, this is actually fitness equipment here for, the neighborhood wanted when we did the upgrade of, that's probably 5-6 years ago now. A picnic shelter, and, there's no off-street parking, but, it's 2.5 acre parcel.
Can you zoom back out so I can see where that is based on the other one? Oh, so it's right there. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's,
Yeah.
the road, this road will come right basically down the middle of this property and connect here. 8 houses on each side.
So do we really want another park or just do
yeah,
that?
I
No,
don't
it's
see any
so
reason to
close.
put any parkland there, I mean, that's,
And they have access,
Gotta be
usually we
redundant.
look to see,
Right, if they
how,
have-
if they can get in and out, or
Sure, that makes sense.
how far it is.
Is there a trail that's gonna go through that development? Isn't that an ordinance now with the city that they have?
It is in the ordinance, they haven't been enforcing it on these last couple developments.
What?
Because they don't connect anywhere. So the other one that went in right here,
yeah, there's nowhere for a trail to go.
yeah, it would be just a, a piece of trail that goes along the side of the road.
Same with that, I mean, you got, if they put that road in wide enough, it's not a big deal.
It's something we need to address with the planning department and the city council on how they want to actually enforce that.
Well, we're never gonna get trails if we don't enforce it,
Right.
and.
Other than if we spend the money, which we don't have that much money.
Well, either way, I mean, we've been trying for 15, 20 years to get trails, and
Right.
we've got a quarter of a mile.
The one we did on Baton, we actually used park dedication land for that trail. And then that didn't cover all of it. They put some money for park dedication fees as well.
But it's easier to do it at the beginning than it is
Way
when we
easier.
have to
Much
talk.
easier to
When
do
we
it.
have the neighborhood in here going,
Yeah, not in my backyard.
Not in my
Not my
backyard.
front yard.
Yeah, we've learned our lesson on that, I think.
When the neighborhoods go in too, it doesn't necessarily have to be right along the street. You know, in that particular case, they could have put a trail that went from
behind.
the bottom of,
Along the back.
along the back or something, you know, so it can be in the development, so that would help too,
Mhm.
for what it's worth.
Well, I'll make a motion that we take, park dedication fees versus land.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded to accept the park dedication fees instead of the land. Any discussion?
Approximately how much is it gonna be, Nate?
I don't know for sure. It's 40 acres. It can't exceed 2,000 an acre. On the last, on this property here was 40 acres as well. And I think it was like 16,000.
Oh, okay.
Which helps. I mean, it's
Chunk it up.
Yep.
Every little bit.
We'll probably see a lot of these smaller 40-acre developments coming in throughout the years until we get something big that takes place down behind the golf course down that area. There's been a lot of discussion. with
Or
that.
even on Klondike, there's some bigger stuff.
It's just every dollar we can get, we've got so much to do in the parks to upgrade now that we're better off with the money than we are.
As long as we
Plan.
can keep the money.
as long as
Park
it doesn't-
dedication has to stay for park stuff. That
Okay.
can't be used.
Good.
Park capital can be, as we've seen in the past, can be,
So can your trail fund.
Mm-hmm.
yep, that was park capital. If it's dedicated from development, it has to be used for park purposes.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 8, 2023 to 2027 Park Capital Improvement Planning. Get your gloves off.
Well, here we go.
This is the one we've all been waiting for.
That's right, I have notes. No, just kidding.
Begin discussion and development of the 5-year park capital improvement plan. Parks Commission prepares a capital improvement plan annually which updates projected projects, evaluates priorities, and establishes funding for these works for the coming year and for each of the subsequent years for a 5-year period. The plan is presented to the City Council for their approval and used for preparing the coming year's budget. Attached is the 2022 to 2026 Parks Capital Improvement Plan. We will discuss those projects that are listed for 2023 and determine if future needs or future projects need to stay in their current funding year or be rearranged to reflect any changes in our park priorities. Other projects can be added and existing ones can be deleted if there's a need for restructuring the schedule. Recommendations from the discussion tonight will be used to develop a draft 2023-2027 Park CIP that the Park Commission can review and edit at a following meeting. So, our capital improvement plan, just to kind of run through what we got planned for this year. We have the John Anderson Trail segment based off of what we heard from the development when we met with them at the John Anderson Park. We're gonna create a trail plan that kind of goes with what they had wanted there. Nothing on that east side of the park. A loop that kind of goes back around the back portion there, and not to connect to the other neighborhood at this time, but that's something we can look at in the future if that changes.
And that's gonna be natural surface?
That will be blacktop surface.
Or will it be blacktop?
So similar to what we did in Booster here.
Yep. And then, this is the Park Acquisition and Development Fund. We have lights planned for Booster West Ball Field in 2023. So that would be something we discuss on this plan that would be approved by the council in their budget. So whatever's in 2023, we want to make sure we get kind of locked down. Excuse me. In 2024, we have a shade structures planned for Booster West. And these are those big canopy style shade structures that we'd put up between the, on the berms on either side of to give spectators a place to get out of the sun. 2025 is a park pavilion. We did not name which park. We originally had that plan for Norsland. They did not seem like they wanted one there. We've got quite a few options where we could put a nice park pavilion in, shelter building. And then 2026, we didn't have anything put in there. So all this funding is based on estimates of development that we get from park dedication fees. So for 2022, we had 50,000 budgeted. You know, we'll get 12 to 15,000 from this development we just talked about tonight.
Is the 16,000 from the other one already in there?
I don't know for sure. I have to check with.
So we could possibly get closer to 30,000.
I'll have a better idea of what that number is at the next meeting once they get all those numbers finished up from last year. When we do the park capital and acquisition fund will be updated. We are holding, we did not get the Cambia Hills Park dedication that we were counting on when that place went out of business, so that's still outstanding. If it does get purchased, that's one of the requirements for it.
And how much was that? I can't remember now.
It was around 40,000.
Oh, yeah, it was a good chunk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that will change a lot of what's on here as well. So this one's a little more fluid. It's harder to budget exactly. In the years from 2008 to 2016, we didn't have anything in here. It was basically zero every year. There was no development taking
That was
place.
the crying years.
Yeah.
It was a little lean.
That was when Tom Ronning said, "Do you want the lint out of my pocket? What do you want?" When I asked for money.
And then the 2022 Park Capital Fund, so this one is funded through transfers from the general fund. For this year, we have playground replacement at Bondi Park. We budgeted 35,000. In talking with some other cities and vendors, I think that might be a little bit low. The prices on all this stuff went really high late last year and into this year, so.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we can do that for under 50.
Yeah, this price of steel went up and actually everything went up on it, so.
I think, yeah, anything outdoors related, I think went up.
Resurfacing the Whispering Aspen tennis courts. That number should be fairly accurate. We spent 12,000 on Booster a couple years ago. Turned out pretty nice, so we're gonna do the same thing up there.
Is there anything they need to do to stripe that for like pickleball or?
We did that one and the one at Coon Lake Beach. When they stripe this, they stripe the pickleball with a different color.
Okay.
So they are able to, that's probably the biggest users we've had to increase is pickleball.
But it is getting
cool.
really popular. I think
Yeah.
there are leagues now, right? So,
Yeah, if you want to learn how to play.
Go to Arizona, that's all they play.
Yeah.
Arizona's hot.
They play in the winter.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat.
2023, we have the playground replacement at Whispering Oaks, which is just the climbing piece. The other parts have been replaced already. And that will be the last piece of equipment besides, well, no, I shouldn't say that. The following year is Coon Lake Beach. Once those two are done, then all of our equipment's been pretty much updated within the last 8 to 10 years, 12 years.
Also, we got rid of all the metal, funky 60s, 70s swing sets and stuff now,
Yep,
right?
everything will be up to fairly modern standards. So that's 2023, and then we had 80,000 planned for the skateboard equipment at Booster Park. That's basically to replace what we have there. And we've talked about that, we can revisit that a little bit too, but we may have to look at maybe getting some more money if we wanted to make that actually nicer.
Yeah, like in Andover, you drive by that one by the high school there, and they have it like
Big.
sectioned off so that kids, if you're either on your skateboard or you're in the park area, it's separate. Where I think we kind of run into people running back and forth.
Between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hard part is it's already got the pavement there for, it. We'd have to repave it someplace else.
Oh, we couldn't put up like fencing or anything.
You could probably fence it in or put up some kind of
I'm just
divider.
thinking with the little kids that run in there when the
Yeah, when
big
someone's-
kids are on there. I've seen that
Kids
happen
can't
so
just
many
stop.
times. Yeah.
If we wanted to look at like a poured concrete one, those are a lot more durable, but they're also a lot more expensive.
A lot more money.
Wyoming has that one over there that Polaris donated the money for. I think it was around $200,000.
Oh,
but
so
it's-
maybe Aggressive
nice.
Hydraulics would want to make a donation.
Yeah.
You want to ask Wes?
If you come with me.
In 2024, we have $100,000 planned for the Coon Lake Beach Playground and that skateboard equipment down there. That was a hand-me-down equipment from a different park, so that stuff's pretty old too.
Yeah, that's probably pretty close to the end of its life there.
Oh, I thought we
Yeah.
bought some stuff. Didn't we buy them one of those, a couple different new things, didn't we, Bonnie?
The
This is
community center,
the skate park
Oh,
is
okay.
what he's talking
everything's
about
been
being.
used,
They,
except for what the community center.
we moved a piece of equipment from the playground over to the skateboard park because the community center donated some money for a new piece there.
Okay,
So we just popped it out of the ground and moved it
that's
over
why
there.
I'm confused.
The Sky Rider, it's that.
Right.
Yeah, the,
Round thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and they really need some newer equipment there.
I'm hoping that this doesn't drop, because the community center is looking at possible pavement work, redoing all the pavement, and I thought we could do it separate, but.
In their parking lot?
Yeah, because then there's that boundary thing, which I'm hoping it won't be a problem, but the boundary line, since all the.
Well, technically, the parking lot is not on city property. That's owned by the community center. The city only owns where the grass starts over to the
Right,
back of the fence.
and it did come up if the city would be willing to donate anything towards the parking lot, and I said I kind of thought not.
Yeah, that'd be probably a question for the park commission and the city council. They could just change it on its own.
Well, can we add to the summer tour, can we add the community center on there? Because
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
been
if
a
we
long
wanna
time
look-
since we've been
It's been a
there.
couple years since we've
Yeah.
been there.
What is the summer tour?
we go and tour some of the parks to see
Oh.
what they look like. and-
We rent a school bus and just get everybody out and go.
I like
We haven't done it for a couple of years, all because of COVID for a while. Then we had a couple where we just went to a specific park and had a meeting there.
That
Done a
would be
couple of
really
those.
helpful too for me.
Yeah,
That's
We could
how
do
you
that
learn
as
where all the
well.
parks are.
Right.
host a meeting there.
Just, host a meeting
You
and
could do that too.
you could always open it up if the weather was inclement.
That would probably get a lot of people to attend. We had a lot at actually last two park meetings had quite a big attendance.
Well, I think people want to know what's going on.
Yeah,
At their local park especially.
yeah.
Well, we're starting to get a few things done in some of them too, where it's starting to look like
And some people
we're-
are generating ideas now when they see what's going
Mm-hmm.
on. No one
Yeah,
wants to be
that's-
left out.
It's really nice that they do, because otherwise, we're just guessing. So,
So after 2024, we have some kind of more vague terms in here for shelter building, playground equipment, and park development. I really think that something's gonna take place down in the city sewer and water district where we're gonna have to probably develop a park down there. So we've kind of been leaving some money available for that.
Well, I know we had talked about, we don't have a park in that southeast quadrant, but we were waiting to find out about the development on the corner there of Viking, with the new the townhouses and stuff, if they were gonna have a private playground or
Yep.
build a park. Do we know? Have they
We don't,
decided?
it's still up in the air, the developers. Hard to lock down.
Well, there's a reason though, if I can interject for a second. Some of the stuff that he had asked not get released, got released early. And so
Oh.
consequently, he has kept things really tight right now till he has to. So, Quick Trip was supposed to be a surprise. You know, everybody knew about Quick Trip before he had a chance to announce it.
yeah, but I think if you looked at Quick Trip as a company, it was not a surprise.
Well, Quick Trip was already looking at us up here anyway but not in a development. They were looking at by the ice arena.
Yeah, that's.
So maybe Quick Trip was talking.
No, we know where it came from. We know where it came from,
Oh.
so it's just he's keeping things kind of tight.
Oh, that's a
Has
bummer.
to.
And that's okay.
Well, it is, but except for now when we're trying to help them out here.
I included our park trails comp plan that we did a couple of years ago. For Mary Helen, this kind of shows where all of our parks are. It shows all of our existing trails and proposed trails. A couple of them are quite a long ways off, but they're good to get down on paper in case something does happen. We can follow this plan and show that it's been planned for a long time. The large green shaded area on the bottom there is kind of the area that we're talking about. There's no parks in that area. And especially this area down along Viking and where the utility district is. We've kind of targeted that area as a place that is gonna probably need some recreation opportunities. We had a couple people come in a few years ago with letters asking us to develop a park in this area too. One of them was a young child. She wrote a letter that was nice to see, but
She's probably too old to go to the park now.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's
For
probably,
grandkids, maybe.
So with that, I'll open it up to any discussion, if anybody wants to see stuff moved around or has any more ideas to add.
I have a question, Nate. So, I was looking at the city council notes, and they were talking about the ice arena.
Mhm.
What is our responsibility as a Parks Commission, just to the outside, or,
Yes. yeah,
okay. I just want to double check.
For
that.
now.
For now.
That could be changing with some of the problems we've had down there, so.
Okay.
What
We're
does that
sure we
mean?
want it?
I don't know.
We put them in a bad spot. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up a sore subject, but I was just curious, because we've done so much on the outside, I'm like, I don't know if we're responsible for the inside.
We're not responsible for the inside other than large mechanical issues like if.
The Zamboni
fir-
goes down.
Zamboni, the furnace, we had to replace the furnace. I had to have an
I
electrician
think we
do
did
some
the
wiring in there.
heating too at one point.
Yep.
We recommended not long ago new dasher boards.
Yeah, that was part of the, basically the capital side of what's taking place in the building. Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to double check, because we don't have anything in here about the ice arena.
Yeah, and there's a separate committee, there's an ice arena committee that kind of handles that. Any improvements for that, we probably could bring before the park commission to review too. We do have a list of things we'd like to get done, it's just, there's not a lot of money. That's an enterprise fund, so it's funded only from user fees. It's not funded from any taxpayer fees. So, it can be, but right now it's an enterprise fund, so it's paid for by the users. They cover the cost of the, it makes money right now, but it doesn't make enough money to cover the depreciation of the building. So any major upkeep, it doesn't make enough money to cover that. So it operates in the black on a year-to-year basis, so.
Which is better than when I started, and it was always in the red.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. It was in the red for a long time. But there is a lot of, a lot of that building was donated, and it was used when it was donated. Some of the bathroom sinks were used when they were put in, and that was in '94.
Well, it was built by people who had kids, it was built by
It was all
the-
volunteers, and
yeah.
there was a lot of hard work from the community, but
It
it's
has a
showing its
pretty
age.
has a pretty sad story behind it all in the end, so. It's good that it's making money now. What about the concession stand over in Booster?
Booster West?
It's falling apart like crazy, isn't it?
The building itself, or,
The doors to the
we
back.
got all that stuff fixed last year. It should be, I think.
And
it's-
inside, like the electrical and stuff is fixed now too?
Yep, we painted all the ceiling, painted all the bathrooms. We had to replace some of the sinks in there and stuff, but for the most part, that building has been pretty well brought back up to. The countertop needs to be replaced on the front piece where you serve at the concession stand. That was broken off. I think we're just gonna take a concrete saw and just cut it smooth for now. Somebody hit it with a bat or a brick or something and broke it off.
They were probably doing parkour.
It could be.
I only see one trail segment on here. I'd really like to see more.
That's exactly where I was at.
Could we talk
Yeah.
about the John Anderson one for a minute?
Sure.
That was the one where the people came in not too long ago, right?
We had it at the park.
No?
That was,
That was Oak Brook. That was
Oh,
Oak
yeah, we
Brook.
did have it at the park.
Yep, the other one you're thinking of when they came in was Oak Brook that didn't want the
Okay.
trail.
So in the end, it was kind of left unsaid. So what was the outcome now of that, when you just talked about the trail going behind where?
So that's at John Anderson Park, the trail going, let me pull that up on the map just so.
I mean, is the trail going to connect to where we thought it was gonna connect?
No.
At this time, no, it was pretty.
right, because we wanted to connect it towards Bondi so you could ride your bike through.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, people didn't want it.
And there was a little loop on the east side too
Right,
that they
but-
didn't want.
there were people that didn't want it, but there were some people that were okay with it, weren't there?
There was people that wanted this connection. I remember there was one person in particular that really wanted this. He was
The guy,
a guy that works on the trail over in, I think, in Bethel.
Yeah,
So we're not gonna be doing that one then?
No, so this is John Anderson Park. This is the existing paved trails.
Yep. I just thought that we were still gonna do that one.
We're gonna put a
Yeah.
trail that's gonna connect through here, come along the lake, come up around, and then come back down this side along the edge.
It just won't make that connection into the
We'll probably
neighborhood.
cut back across somewhere in here.
No.
We won't have,
I
we won't
really
have,
think we should have done that. I didn't think we ever voted on it or anything.
this piece here.
The
Yeah.
connection?
Yeah. Because we worked so long on it and we,
It's true, we've been working on it for years.
You can always
And
make a
we-
recommendation to the council on it, that's,
well, that's what I'd like to talk about.
It could be added in one of the following years too. And I don't disagree, I do agree with the fact
Well,
that we should.
because
and
that was
it
the one that we
connects.
had hopes for and, and this one, how long's it been? I
well,
mean,
this
Like 8
easement's,
years, probably.
We had this way
Way,
before
way back.
way before anybody built back there. And, I
that
know
was
some
before
people
my
are
time.
unhappy, but I mean, this was one that I really thought was gonna happen.
Especially since people are using their bikes now to bike all over the city,
Oh,
they're
and they're
looking
going-
for
they're going through there
extended.
anyway.
Yeah, kids are going through their backyards or whatever, and
so this trail easement was put in with the development, so it's, I mean, it's been there a long time.
Yeah, the lady that lives in that house was really not happy because it goes right by her bedroom window,
Yeah, I think it was this house.
well, couldn't we just put up a privacy fence on that side?
kinda like they did by your place there.
We don't have a privacy fence.
I think it-
We have a metal fence to keep the kids from using our trees for a bathroom.
That's what I meant.
Well, it's a deterrent.
We had a little bit off subject, but we had probably 4 or 5 years ago, the snowmobile club came.
I know, I was just thinking that too,
And
that
Todd-
they wanted to tie some things in too.
And they talked about the importance of having off-street trails. And I think that
absolutely.
that portion of the conversation applies. I think that making that connection across there connects that whole park to that whole neighborhood. And, as we talk, it's the one thing that I keep hearing the most about from people, that they want trails. They want trails.
Multi-purpose trails.
Multi-purpose trails that can connect. And so if we talk to that immediate neighborhood right there, everybody, is what I'm trying to say is everybody wants trails, but nobody wants them in their backyard.
Exactly.
So it's gonna be a tough decision.
But
And
if we already have a trail designated, we should use it.
Yes.
Before it
When
gets
those-
more populated
When
and
those
then,
folks bought the house, that easement was there, their realtor told them it was there, and that they always knew that this was a possibility. And so, to make that connect to the neighborhood, again, we asked that immediate community, but if we would've asked the people that live a mile down the road or 2 miles down the road, they would say they want that segment, so they can ride their bike up to the park.
Yeah, I think we only invited, everybody around the lake, this development, and this development to that meeting, just to keep it from being,
And we had a lot of people there even with just that, so.
right.
But we did have some people that did speak for that connection.
Well, and the longer we wait, the more expensive it's gonna be too, so.
Yep.
is that something we wanna add? So right now, the budget we have in there does not include that trail connection piece. So if we wanted to add that for 2023, we'd have to raise that budget amount, or we could put it in as a later connection piece in a different year.
Well, it's kind of similar to what we did on Baton, where we did what we had, and then we'll just keep adding on to it.
Yeah, someday by the time I die.
There's something to
You
be
got a
said
good
about.
40 years left in you.
There's something to be said about putting it on a plan too for 2 or 3 years out.
Right.
So what if we plug it in place of that park pavilion in 2025?
On the park acquisition.
Just that little segment, so we still do the rest of the trail, but then we connect it in 2025.
What do you think that little chunk would cost?
I don't know, I'd have to look at, the expensive part is getting across this little,
There's a little drainage creek
Oh.
there, yep.
Water always deters us.
yeah, water everywhere. This one is not as wet as the other ones, though. This is just a crossing. whereas
something where they
the other
could
ones
put a-
were across.
Is it more marshy or is it actual?
No, it's open water.
Could we
Okay.
get by with a culvert?
Possibly, you'd have to talk with Coon Creek Watershed on it.
Could we start it in 2023 and finish it in 2025?
Well, there wouldn't take much to build it. It's just a matter of clearing a path through here and here. This side's already open all the way down to just a few trees in here and here. They said the hard part's just getting across that open water spot. A culvert could work there.
How much
Or
length,
floating.
what's the length of that? Just out of, not that
Oh,
we're gonna
how
ask you a whole
awesome is
bunch of
that?
questions, but
Can I get that at my house on my phone?
50 feet.
what
Oh,
about
that's
the-
hardly anything.
What about the full length of the trail though? If we were to put that in? $400 feet?
475, call it 500 just to give us a little cushion.
What do you think, a foot? Any idea?
Off
Just
the top of my
ballpark,
head, I
yeah.
don't have it written down. I
Okay.
use for all these estimates.
Well, I'm just kind of ballparking it. I mean, there's a lot of trail segments we could do, but that one does make a lot of sense.
Well, I kind of like it when we just concentrate on getting one done instead of here's a little
Little
bit,
piece
here's
here,
a
a
little
little there.
bit. And then everybody thinks that we're just doing everything pell-mell, so.
Yeah. I'd love to see Baton get done sometime.
Isn't that going to be done this year though?
Baton is, the connection piece is done on that,
As much as it's.
but it
got
only goes
budgeted
to
for.
224th.
It doesn't go very far though.
Hmm. Hmm.
Be nice to get that next.
Yeah, the connector piece
Yep.
is what we need, right?
So
It's
either,
down to- It's up to 226th.
yeah, 26. So we need to
But-
get down to 223rd, is it? Second?
22nd, yeah. It'd be nice to get to that.
Either run down this way or the other one that was to cut back through there, but
Through Yancey?
that same problem, issue there, the neighbor didn't want that cutting through there.
Some of the people that were really opposed to that don't live there anymore.
I was going to say, there's been a lot of turnover in that neighborhood.
I know the
Yeah.
biggest proponent was this,
Yep, and he's
Family
gone,
here and
he's
there.
gone.
they're not living there anymore.
And
I'd love
again,
to see it
it's-
go right down Bataan though, because that is, I mean, I'm constantly seeing young people with strollers and
Right,
kids and.
I brought that up a couple meetings ago where people are stepping off right into traffic.
Yeah, it just, and there's a couple hills in there, if you're not paying attention, you pop over the hill and there's people.
And I think we have all the right-of-way already secured along here.
We do. There's two pieces where we gotta cross some water that are gonna be a little bit of an issue.
Eldon's property here.
Eldon's property is one
Well,
of them,
he
yeah.
donated it, the first time we were talking about a bike trail, right? His
It's just
right-of-way?
the,
That's all of it, yeah.
you still have to get around that water somehow. So,
It's kind of the same issue we had on this other piece up here that we just built. We had to go around here.
yep,
We actually had to run it right up next to the road. And we had some problems with it
it
sloughing off
washed away
after
on
a
you.
gigantic rainstorm. They had to come back and redo a chunk of it, twice actually.
They did a nice job on it.
Yeah, that was Dirt Works. He does good work.
Steve does good work.
I think I've asked this before and I don't recall the answer. That segment down Baton,
Mm-hmm.
is that an either or with that other one that goes through that neighborhood there? Are those kind of is the plan to kind of get it to connect into Booster Park?
Yeah, the plan is to get it to Booster Park, so.
Yep.
So if we do one, we wouldn't do the other.
Right. The original plan that was ready to go back in, I think, 2010, that was pulled, was to go all the way along here.
Yep, and connect and
And
then,
I think it actually included some widening of this road,
It did.
and then was there a piece that was off the road on here too?
I think they were just gonna widen that
Just
too.
widen the shoulder. So what we've kind of done is just say, at least if we can get it to a residential street, that'd be better than nothing.
It's a good start.
And then, so you could get all the way down Baton to 222nd, then you can take 222nd and Xylite, and then enter the park on this back.
At least they're not running the speeds that they run.
As long as they don't use the trees as a bathroom when you come in here. then you're-
that's right. That is right.
I think they should just stop at your mailbox.
What?
So this trail segment coming in here.
Fortunately, those kids are probably the ones that are destroying the parks now, so,
Yeah.
driving their cars through.
Yeah, it's just, we had originally talked to either that one or Palisade, and the people who live along Palisade just had a,
They did, but it was a little bit tougher on Palisade too, because the ditches are so deep.
Yep. and we had to get all the right-of-ways, and we didn't have any of them. The people along Bataan would love to have it, because most of them,
They want to get out and walk.
well, and most of the length of that, when you get south of 225th, the houses are back either behind a fence or behind trees.
Right.
They don't care. Put a trail in front of me, we're great.
And the original plan was to, once that was built, was to run another trail along 229th, so you could be able to get from Booster Park all the way to
Fish Lake.
Fish Lake.
Yep.
And the U of M was fairly receptive of running it along their side over there.
Yeah, they really didn't have a problem with it. Except on Durant, maybe.
Yeah. And there again, Durant's a city street, so at least if you got it to there, you're,
Well, I think they have a project in that Durant area, a Oak Savannah section or something that they didn't want people messing with.
yeah, on
Yeah,
the,
it could be.
they got a lot of, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going along here. And bison in there too.
That's true. People
So
love those
keep-
bison.
Do we want to try and get one of those, when I put the draft plan together, I can stick stuff wherever you guys want, so. I've heard John Anderson,
Well, I
connection
think John
keys.
Anderson sounds like the faster win.
Well, and could we just add it to the 2022?
20
Which one?
for this year?
John Anderson,
The
yeah.
full John
Just
Anderson.
do the full segment,
Do the whole
the
thing?
whole trail all the way
Well,
through?
it's, I mean, if we're
Well,
only
depending on how much
talking-
that 500 feet
Right.
costs.
We can see it.
But I mean, if we're talking another 20 grand, I mean, we're probably better off doing it now.
Right.
We'll have to probably get that approved, because everything in 2022 has already
It's already
been approved from the council when they did the budget last year, so that'd be above and beyond that, so we'd have to, they have to approve every big project anyways, even if it's already been approved, it still goes to council again for a second
Yeah.
approval.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Don't ask, don't get.
There will be some, I'm sure, some big pushback from a few people on that one that were at the meeting, but there was people in support of it too, so just.
Well, I know I'm not supposed to talk, but you just expand the people that you bring in to talk about it. Expand it to the 100 houses that live right around there.
Well, everybody's,
Try to get 30.
yeah, everybody's gonna have a reason why they don't want something to happen.
I think
You
there's a
know,
lot of,
pushback we got on the new development that you guys just talked about. This place was packed.
They did not want the development?
Because it's in their backyard.
they didn't want to look out their house to the houses behind them.
Then buy the land then, so they can't develop it.
Right.
That, you know what, was actually what somebody said.
There's always somebody who's honest. Says, here's the solution then.
Here's the solution.
Yeah,
You should have bought it when it was for sale.
here's your sign.
Okay, so I'll include John Anderson in this year's budgeting, and we'll see what that number comes in at, and we'll bring it to city council for sure, and try and get to the park commission if the timing works out good, that we can get it.
Well, if we could do that, then we could take that money that we're talking about for that park pavilion that nobody seems to want and get some more booster, or Bataan done.
Right.
I'd like to see more trails. I'm with you, Tim.
Well, I think it just makes it safer. I mean, literally all the time I see kids on bikes in the middle of either here,
Little one.
Bataan, yeah, little ones.
So the 2025 Park Acquisition Development Fund, look at Baton Trail segment.
Yep. And I know getting that whole thing done's a pipe dream because it's a lot more money than what's there. And we need some serious park acquisition and development money to be able to get there, but, even if we get halfway or a third of the way, or,
There's 2026 too, so if we start at 1 year, finish at the next.
yeah, we
And-
might have.
This fund could, if we get a lot of development, this fund could get a lot of money in it.
Do we
really
still have
Yeah.
money that we haven't received from anybody else that possibly be?
Other than the one that was on
The Cambria
Durant,
Hills.
might not be in there yet. I'll have all that at the next meeting when I do the draft. We'll have an updated amount. Because I think this number here, well, it does, because the beginning balance on the other sheet was 53, I believe. And we had 95, because that included the 40,000 from Cambria Hills that we never received. So all these numbers on the right are probably high by 40,000 right now.
That's helpful.
Any other projects? And I talked to our guys, a couple things they brought up, possibility of irrigating Field 5 here behind City Hall. We just had some work done on our well.
Is that this one here?
Yeah,
It's the little kid field.
the well that was put in here was designed to irrigate all this area, so it's
Oh,
already
nice.
full size, would just be a matter of running the lines. And I've got two guys that used to do irrigation, so they could do it themselves.
So we can do that in-house?
Yeah,
That'd be
So it might be a-
relatively cheap,
it
wouldn't
would
it?
be a fairly cheap project to help keep that turf in nice
It would
shape.
just be
Sounds
whatever
like-
supplies we needed, right?
Yeah, it sounds like a keep busy project for days when you don't have anything for them.
Yeah, if it was in the winter, it'd be great, but summertime, we'll run around like crazy.
Nate, is
You
now a
figure
good
out how
time
to do that.
to bring up the sliding hill possibility, or do we need?
Yeah, he can,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of finding a location for that.
Yeah, it's not a big cost, it's just a big interest.
Yep.
A wish,
Sliding
a want.
hill, like anywhere in the city, or you have a specific spot?
Somewhere's out on the beach.
They were looking for one down in the beach area. The problem we have we do have a lot of land down there, but it's mainly all
It's pretty wet.
wetland along the Coon Lake. And I asked our guys too if they could think of anything off the top of their head. And we didn't have any good spots that we could think of. Does anybody down there have any ideas?
The only place I was thinking was by the ball field, that land back behind there that comes off of Lake Hawthorne, or the land that the city owns down on Cedar.
Kind of back where the skate park is there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Mayor Peterson Park. This is the skate park. This is a parking lot. This is the ball field. It's fenced to here, but this is open water back here. This is all wet.
What's behind the skate park there? Is that more water?
This piece here,
Yeah.
it's just some trees in there. I don't know if it's big enough. This is
It's pretty small.
pretty small area.
We were looking at putting a trail there back a few years ago to.
These lines, these look like roads. These are platted streets, actually. So these are actually city publicly owned easements in here.
Because we have that one that runs all the way, it goes down to Cedar
Mm-hmm.
from
There's another one.
Lexington.
So when this was platted, they just kind of slapped this on there. They didn't really decide what was underneath for wetland, but you can kind of see the wetland boundary runs along here. So all these roads just stop in these areas. This road connects. There was talk of trying to get a trail through here. But this is a drainage ditch here.
Where is it that we had that little garden thing?
That's inside.
Oh.
That's right here. This piece.
We got a bench and a slab, and
Yeah.
we're putting a memorial garden in there this spring. The community center was willing to possibly come up with money for the dirt, but Nate mentioned that the dirt is available.
We can get dirt, we just need a place to dump it.
Just have to have a place to put it.
Right. But there is a big interest in Sliding Hill.
Is that the community center right there?
Bonnie, yep, when Bonnie said, this is the community center, so this is the property line.
And there's a fence there, right?
No, this is open.
Oh, the fence is on the back side, okay.
There's a fence that goes along here. You can see the pickleball court on there, kinda,
Yeah,
and then
Cool.
the tennis net court.
can't do it in the front door of the community center, looking towards the lake there. You don't want them
That's where-
sliding into the street?
They
I
slide
mean,
right
it's-
now.
Right into the.
Yeah, it happens and it's very dangerous. It's just really not good. There's so much traffic now. The Smokies has become so
Especially there.
successful and the traffic is just insane.
Well, I think even Coon Lake Beach as a whole has become insane with traffic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be a little sleepy little corner of the city, and
Yeah,
Right.
and now it's houses, big houses, little houses are
And
turning into
boats
big
with big
houses.
boats and,
Big boats.
yeah.
Big.
So our sliding, we have you'd need about an acre to do one similar to what we have in Booster West, which is a pretty big one, say 3/4 of an acre. So that's that's a big piece of area that you need.
200 by 200 probably.
I think we'd be happy with anything. Quite frankly, if you want my opinion, but big
But
is
it's-
always better, but
Yeah, it's just hard to find a place that you can dump the dirt to make the
Yep.
hill.
Yeah, and then they have to have an area where they can kind of slide out too, where they're not
Right.
Yeah,
hitting a fence or something.
can't go out onto the street like you do in the front there.
Yeah, we don't want
I
anybody
know.
killed or hurt.
that is not our intention.
No.
Well, how much, if you put the dirt there and have them slide down towards the baseball field, is there enough room for that?
No, we're talking about over on Coon Lake.
Oh.
There's already a sliding hill there.
Yeah, the measurement I took was with the.
Oh, I see, we
slide-out
switched.
zone.
Yeah, he moved on us.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's
Just
my
using the
house.
existing example.
How did you move over to Coon Lake?
Exactly. We just picked up and just plopped down in the backyard of Smokies.
Tornado.
Well, that is the thing too, is it's so populated at the beach too. There's no wiggle
Just
room.
not a lot of wiggle room anywhere there.
Yeah.
Another thing that was brought up from some of the parents that have kids in, especially fast pitch, would be to maybe put fencing on field 5, but it kind of limits what this area can be used for.
That's the one behind this.
That's the one right up.
And why would
Okay.
they want to do that? Just because of dogs and stuff, or?
Well, for like fast pitch, they like to have the outfield fence to define the play area.
So why don't we get a fence like we've got for the other 4 field?
The portables?
Yeah, I mean, they're awesome. They're easy to put in. They're not that expensive.
The problem is you have to take them down, put them in all the time.
Yeah.
You have to come in and out all the time. They're
They do.
fine for tournaments. But this would be more for people
Oh,
who
they
want
want
to play
something more permanent?
during the week and
Oh.
games and stuff too.
Practice, probably.
Well,
Tournaments,
because-
we should probably do that for sure, even though my guys hate putting it out and taking it down.
Hey, you could leave that stuff up all summer.
Yeah, it's just a matter of when there's different teams on there, then when a baseball team comes on, they don't want the
Well,
fence.
they want the 200-foot fence. I get that.
Yeah,
Well, and when you have the fun leagues come in and they're adults, they don't like being limited. Because,
Or-
they got to crack it over crack it
the
across.
base
field.
stays in the ground, so it's just a matter of
Yeah,
rolling them out, propping
They're
them in.
not bad.
Yeah.
It's like when you come in to do the tournament in the morning and somebody's gone back in the backfield and pulled them all down
Yeah,
and thrown them over the fence.
Nice.
yep.
All I know is my dog loves ball collecting.
Yeah, or the white donkey that was standing in the outfield one day.
so what's the
Oh.
smallest area you were saying?
I would say, if you want, depending on the size of the hill, you'd need at least a half an acre, probably closer to 3/4 to an acre. You could have a little small one on half an acre probably.
And parking.
Parking, yeah, it'd have to be,
Yeah, we need to start looking at,
No parking.
we need to start looking at parking anyway, because we're going to run into a problem at Whispering Aspen.
We will.
when goes through.
Yep, well, and they're already having issues with people parking on both sides of the curve there.
Yep.
Yeah, we may need to take that one edge or something and throw some, that east side there, and throw some parking along there, or,
How much smaller is the Northland sliding hill, Nate, compared to this one?
Let's take a look on the golf course.
Where were they gonna put that, weren't they gonna put a treatment plant back in the day, somewhere's down there on Cedar that the city owned? That wasn't in the wetland, but I'm not sure where it was, or what.
I don't know about that one. I'm not sure on that one. This is the hill on Northland. I'm just kinda guessing on how far you're gonna slide out from the bottom of it.
You only have to worry about the big kids going far.
Yeah, they can go on the road. So that's 2/3 of an acre, so you could probably get one on that. Why did you change that?
just came to a third, huh?
Huh, that's weird.
Looks bigger than that.
Yeah, that's half an acre. You could probably do half an acre.
And it would be fun enough.
My kids have a blast on that one when they were littler. We used to go to that one.
Yeah, usually it's the parents that have to drag the sled back up, so.
Yeah,
I
going
stand
down's
right at the
easy.
bottom and watched.
Well, little ones, I don't think that many parents let them go with them. I wouldn't.
So go back to the Coon Lake area, or Coon Lake Beach area there, and just
Here, I'll
measure
do
out
an-
how
let me-
close are we to having a spot
Let
there.
me show you another map real quick here.
Do we, what about over more towards, don't we have some land that's closer to the lake that's not in the middle of everything? Some of those weird spots those lots that we have that are kind of weird, just kind of sporadically
This is a
placed.
brand new application, so I don't know.
Yeah, there was a spot over there, they wanted us to put porta potties or something.
Yeah, is it,
for a while.
how about that area? When we're out-
Is that the end of your road, Bonnie?
That's Cedar, one over at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't do it right. We used to be able to pull up all of our properties.
For some reason, I'm thinking that down on the end on the left, the city owned a pretty good chunk of land that they were gonna.
Well, there was
put-
that one we were looking at portable toilets and we talked about the
Yep, that's
floating.
on the
por-
lakeside.
That's pretty
That seemed
wooded.
like it was a pretty big,
Yeah, it was pretty wooded, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So then you'd have to clear that to be able to put the.
well, that's what I'm asking is,
Huh. It's not
Okay.
looking-
A little bit of it's.
it would be a little bit
wet,
safer because there wouldn't be traffic.
Right.
It might make the summertime thing worse, though. I think that's one of the things we talked about was not making access easy to that.
Well, there again, that's something where maybe the community center we could get some sort of a gate thing and gate it
In the
in the
summertime.
summer so they weren't using it for four-wheelers or whatever.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, because I know that was one of the issues with putting
Yeah.
porta potties in there was access for the truck, but then we're granting access for
The other
other
stuff
things.
too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is the parcel, this is all city owned for the most part through here.
Is that road, is that actually a road or is that just,
The road does not follow
doesn't follow what it said on the map?
the right of way.
It's kind of a road.
So here's the road.
It's a little
Cuts across.
dirty.
Well, I was thinking if it kinda sorta does, there's land on the east side of that road that is city too then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically all of these are,
So, I mean, is there a possibility of putting something in somewhere there?
That's where I
Or
was.
Yeah, I was
city
gonna say, I
just
think that's
doesn't-
what Bonnie had mentioned to me anyway.
This was a long time ago, I think it went all the way back to when we were building that park originally. And at that time it was so desolate, people were very apprehensive about putting a park that far down.
Hmm.
But now, I've thrown it out to a few people about Cedar, and they're like, yeah, what's wrong with Cedar? We would like to have a sliding hill.
Let me do some more research on that one to see
That'd
if
be
it's
great.
possible in there. Most of that is pretty wet.
Well, if it's winter, though, oh, well, we need the sand to stay on the ground right, instead of sinking
Yeah,
into
it's
the
helpful
lake.
if the hill stays there.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the next winter, it's.
A little island with a moat.
And a skating rink.
Yeah, dual purpose, that's what we're looking at.
There you go.
These are private properties here, and there's a couple down on the end. And this is actually the Ham Lake border here. This person drives all the way through the beach to get back into Ham Lake.
Pretty secluded house,
But
though.
he lives on
Yep.
the lake.
Yep.
That house on the end is in Ham Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn Stein Center,
It was, yeah.
is in a home now, but.
Okay, any other projects you want me to try and get on the draft that we can take a look at?
I guess mostly we want to concentrate on trails then, it's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah, so you've got, let's see, adding the full, or trying to add the full segment for this summer yet.
For
At
John Anderson? Yep.
And then we've got Baton down in the 2025 area, correct? And then you've talked about the irrigation and the sliding hill.
Yep.
Baseball field lights.
Baseball field lights, yep, that's on here though. I'm talking
Right.
about the stuff that isn't on here.
Yeah.
So the baseball field lights are
But
on
we don't, I'm
for-
just looking, are we thinking about switching things around again, or are they good where they are?
Well, if you can slip that irrigation in somewhere,
That's what I'm thinking.
I think we can do that pretty cheap.
yeah, I don't think that's an
That's not-
expensive project.
That's not gonna
It's
knock
a-
anything out too far, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a time project more than an expense. So if you could slip that in somewhere soon,
We could look at 2023 on that,
yeah.
because 2022 is already pretty much budgeted for.
Well, that makes it, yeah, we talked about the difficulty with that, with adding that John Anderson segment.
Is irrigation development or is irrigation a capital?
They're kind of interchangeable on how they do it on here. Yeah.
Where the money is.
Well, yeah, because you got miscellaneous park projects and tree planting, you could fit that.
Yep. That's 5, it'd probably be.
That's true, because if we're irrigating, then we can put more trees in, because we can get them watered.
I like the way you think.
Well, doesn't that make sense?
It does. It's only $5,000, then, but you might be able to do it for that too.
Yeah, you might be able to rent a puller.
Yeah, I would think with a day of rental, you should pretty much get the line in.
Yeah.
That's a great idea from the guys out back.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good start at it. I'll put together a draft with the updated numbers on everything and bring that to probably the March meeting. We'd like to have this done by May, so it can go to the council for final approval for their budget preparation as they get into May and June. And then go from there.
You want a motion on it, Nate?
This is more of an informational at this point, nothing, I'll bring it
Okay.
back and then you can make a motion on the draft one at that point.
Perfect. Anything else on that, guys? Nope. Item 9,
No?
City council
could-
report.
Council could give us more money.
I think they're going to.
More money,
It's
more money.
time for her to tell us how much she's gonna give us.
You're up.
How much I'm gonna give you? That's like a big goose egg right now. Although actually, I am on the financial committee, so
Ooh, so-
listening to all you guys is pretty good.
And we'll never bug you about it.
I don't have much, and I don't know what Brian filled in for me last time. I don't know what he told you that I may repeat, so if I do, I apologize. First, I want to congratulate Bill and Denise, chairman and co-chairman, yay! And the rest of the members. You guys do a great job, and it's really appreciated. The information we get from Nate and all of you really makes it easier for the city council to know what's going on. And you take all the filter from, you know, your people who don't like the parks and want the parks, and by the time we get it, it just makes it easier for us. And I want to welcome Prairie. Welcome. The first thing I have is the sheriff department numbers from last year. They're pretty interesting. In 2020, so we're going back COVID year, they responded to 5,291 calls. In 2021, ending December 31st, they responded to 5,336 calls.
How many were COVID related?
A lot of them are COVID related. They didn't have a breakdown of exactly. The majority of them, though, were accident responses for the sheriff's department. For the fire department in 2020, they responded to 700 calls. And in 2021, they responded to 865 calls.
Those were, most of them were medical.
And 650 of them were medical. And the COVID calls, I don't need to tell Denise, but the COVID calls were really time consuming, equipment consuming, and personnel consuming. It's not easy. So those were the numbers for the end of the year. Those guys are greatly appreciated. I know we all appreciate them. And for those of you who went to the fire department breakfast, thank you. That was fun. We had a good time. There were a lot of people. I didn't get the final number. Did it come in?
I didn't hear.
I didn't hear.
I ended up not going because we have a sick dog. So.
I heard it was, I think it was $2.99.
Well, that was where they wanted to
Short of
be.
300.
That's where they wanted to be. And then Route 65 donated all the food.
Yep.
He gave them all the food.
nice
It
of
was
Brad.
it was a thank you to the city and to the fire department for everything they do, but it was a thank you also to the city for refunding his liquor license fees during the COVID. So that was about $900, and it kind of worked out almost even, but Brad did donate all the food to the fire department. So
He is a big supporter of the
he's
city
a
of East
big
Bethel.
supporter of this city, period. He really is. As far as new developments go, you guys touched on it, Prairie Hills, that's the only one that's out there right now. If you go by the one on Durant, you can see there's a number of houses already in there. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take for him to finish it out, but he's already got a couple of them sold. So,
Oh, nice.
so that's a good thing there.
Well, he'll have it done by summer.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, he had that first house in there in nothing flat. Then, of course, the new liaisons went over. I'm sure, you know, I'm here with you guys, and I'm here through the election. And then, depending on what happens, my term actually will end as soon as the election count is done, unless I get reelected. And then, you know, it may change for November and December, but I'm here till then. So if there's anything you need, you guys know how to find me. The town hall meeting is April 21st. And of course, that will be here in the same format that it's been in previous years at this point. Speaking of the ice arena, there is a hockey tournament that we've agreed to. We're not even sponsoring. I'm not even sure what the right word is for it. We're just allowing a hockey tournament to be at the ice arena for March 11th to the 13th. It's adult leagues. There's a couple of, it's on Facebook, it's on Neighborhood, I'm not even sure what it's called.
I don't know.
I think it just says hockey tournament.
Well, isn't it,
quite
it's
honestly.
a fundraiser, right?
It's a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser for St. Francis hockey, which of course is who uses our arena the most. Food trucks, a bunch of different things. They're trying to work out right now. They want to have beer and wine with the Lions, but they're trying to figure out because the Lions trailer will not fit in the ice arena. So they're trying to figure out how they're gonna make that work. It won't go in either of the end doors, it's too tall.
That shouldn't be an issue. We can work around that.
So they're gonna try and figure out how to make that happen.
I'll talk to Dallas a little more about that.
Put it in your door.
Drive faster when we go in it.
Yeah, just take the door out. You want to replace a door? Other than that, I don't have much going on. So, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Till
Thank
next
you.
time.
Nate, you got anything?
Tournament is when?
I do not.
To the 13th.
When?
March 11th to the 13th.
We can't even probably get a liquor license in that time.
They've already been working on that.
Okay.
This came up in January,
Yeah.
so this is an old
Yeah,
thing.
you can figure 90 days to get one though, usually.
Yeah, they pretty much had it worked out
Okay.
when they presented it to us. They had all the papers done, and they just needed us to say yes, jump in.
All right.
So hopefully they did.
All right, well,
Do you know if they're still doing something for Ken on Monday?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
that'll be the first thing on the meeting on Monday night.
The
Yes,
fir-
and
the
you're
first
all
thing on
welcome
the
if you'd
agenda?
like to be here.
What time is it?
7.
7.
That's Valentine's Day, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's way better than
do you
6:30.
have plans?
No, but I
I
remember,
mean, there's nobody I'd
That's
rather be with.
Valentine's Day, right?
no, but I remember at the last meeting, we said.
Gets me out of
we're gonna
plans.
say goodbye. I didn't think it fell on a Monday.
Yeah, saves you going out on the expensive night.
Anybody have anything else?
It's all right, you'll pay for it somewhere.
I think I covered mine.
Nope.
We gotta welcome Mary Helen.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary Helen.
Thank you. I feel very welcomed.
The last thing is the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.